exciting youngster can we look forward to coming to the fore?
I mean, we showcase one in the last game, Adrian Reid. He's a pretty exciting youngster, ready and gunning to go. So I mean, and you'll be seeing him this evening, and you can look forward for getting things from him in the seasons to come.
It's not the end of the road, we just have to continue to fight. I mean, Cavalier are ambitious, so we just have to continue on the right path, keep our heads high, and just know we have a next. Do it step by step.
In terms of you as a player, tell the viewers your position and your strength.
Well, I'm a central midfielder, and my strength is my strength is tackling and helping my team throughout the whole match.
Player to watch, Dwayne Atkinson, and finished the season very well. Scored a cracker in the last game against Dumble Holden. 6 goals on the season for him in his 12-goal Premier League career. Dwayne Atkinson, just at 20 years of age, and he'll be working from that left-hand side, cutting in. Look out for him in that forward position for Cavalier, and really an exciting talent. He'll be wearing the number 10, the former KC star, Busy Atkinson, and he will be coming up against a formidable Waterhouse team. Let's hear what their coaching staff had to say. Daniel Bent was there.
Last time we spoke, you're confident that you'd be in the final, so I know this is not the game you want to play, but talk to me, how difficult was it to get the guys motivated for this one, and what's the mood of the players like now?
Yes, it is difficult that we are not in the grand finale, because we really wanted to come back and prove ourselves. 2 years in the finals not winning. We wanted to make this year that year that we won, but it was unfortunate that we lost to Aberview. But the players are still upbeat, third place, still up for, still a game to play, and we're looking forward to it.
In terms of the third place playoff here, I know it's an opportunity many coaches use to get some players some game time. Are we to expect a lot of changes today?
Well, you have to wait and see, you know. We don't want to give anything away, but we want to keep it interesting. But hopefully we want the game to be one that is worthy of a final. Because I spoke to Everdeen and we said, hey, let us make this one very exciting. So we're looking forward to it.
You spoke about 3 years in the running that Waterhouse was expected to win it,
yeah,
and it didn't happen. What are the things that you feel that didn't go well this season, and what are you looking to add to it next season to make sure that it is a better one?
Well, they say football is a game of ups and downs. We as Waterhouse, we have had our challenges. But the players at times, sometimes a player form might go up, sometimes it might dip. I think in the semi-final legs, our big players did not turn up, so to speak, and it probably cost us. But nevertheless, all in all, we're still the best attacking team, best defensive team. Unfortunately, it has not brought us to the grand finale. Next year, we'll get a number 9, because we need a number 9, as you see, and then we can come back stronger.
Really want to win, because in the semi-final we didn't get what we wanted, so we are looking forward to this one.
I mean, you're a Manning Cup winner yourself. I mean, how disappointing has it been for you not being in the final?
Very disappointed. Wanted to win this one. Just coming out the Manning Cup, winning the Manning Cup, Oliver Shield. So I wanted to win the Premier League as well.
Well, one of the players that won't be changed is Cardell Benbow. He's our player to watch today, and easily his best season in the Premier League, which he's been playing since 2014. Cardell Benbow, 11 goals and 3 assists on the season. The former St. George's standout, played football in Finland and the USL as well in their second tier of American football. He's a big deal for Waterhouse today if they're going to lift that third place trophy. Let's see what he comes with, Cardell Benbow. We go to a break. When we come back, the starting lineups and kickoff. Third place playoff, Cavalier versus Waterhouse. Welcome back to Sabina Park, Kingston, Jamaica. Cavalier versus Waterhouse, the third place playoff in the Jamaica Premier League. It's the final day of action in the 2022 competition. Chris Taylor here with you still, and Dwight Jeremiah by my side. And Waterhouse finishing the Premier League on top of the standings, and as you said in your interviews, Dwight, it must be hard to get yourself motivated after that loss in the semi-finals.
I mean, they were easily the most consistent team throughout the regular rounds and sat at the top of the table longer than any other team, so one would have expected them to win it. This is the third year in a row that you would have expected Waterhouse to win it. They fall short yet again, so hugely disappointed. I know it is for them. For Cavalier, they would have loved to defend their title up to the very last game. That's not the case, but what we saw of them in that second leg of the semi-finals, if they bring that here today, then certainly Waterhouse will have a very tough task of even finishing third.
Yeah, that match was exciting, wasn't it? A 7-goal thriller. But this Waterhouse team, they have done the double over Cavalier so far this season. Is it a case that Cavalier can stem the tide? They conceded some 6 goals?
6 goals over the 2 games Waterhouse have scored. Well, 2 of the goals scored in the first legs are not with Waterhouse anymore, which is Fletcher and Stewart. But
Siobhan Stewart, both at Mount Pleasant.
Exactly, and that didn't help them to get to the finals, Mount Pleasant, or even the semi-finals. But yeah, Waterhouse will be confident because they did the double over Cavalier in the regular round. But Cavalier will be quick to point out history plays nothing on the day of the game, and it's all about who wants it more and who's motivated more, especially given the scheme of things.
The fans are coming in slowly but surely, as we can see. It will be a slow start considering it's the third place playoff. Not everyone excited necessarily for that kind of game, but it's an opportunity for both these teams to finish the season on a high, even though they would have been demotivated from the standpoint that they lost.
Yeah, as a coach, you always want to finish the season well because it sort of acts as a catalyst for the upcoming season. And for Cavalier, they look at some players. We see Waterhouse here giving some players some time out there to see what they have, because they'd like to know what they look like in a competitive game going into the off-season and know what they need to do.
Well, we're getting ready for the start of this one, as the officials are ready to go as well. The teams will march out. Cavalier versus Waterhouse. In the preliminary round, Waterhouse did a double over Cavalier, a 3-0 victory initially, and then a 3-2 in the return leg. Cardell Benbow, he's been pivotal to Waterhouse's success this season. 11 goals, double digits for the first time in his career. Cardell Benbow, and an exciting end for Cavalier, even though they couldn't get the job done from the penalty spot against Dumble Holding.
Yeah, their goalkeeper came up big for them in the playoff section in the semi-finals, just couldn't do it for them, Bartlett. But he has been a decent goalkeeper throughout. I remember him back-to-back man of the match in regular round. He has a way to go, only 22 years old.
Kemar Foster there, leading the way in terms of goalkeepers in the Premier League this season. He has 9 clean sheets and 38 saves, Kemar Foster. But unfortunately, his team couldn't get it done when it counted. New captains for today. Vino Bartlett has a captain's armband for Cavalier, and Ricardo Thomas, the captain's armband for Waterhouse. Let's hear what the officials have to say. Tyrone Robinson, Princess Brown, Rolonzo Bennett, and 4th official Narissa Golson in charge of this one. Tyrone Robinson was out of the Premier League for quite some time. He was overseas on duties, and he's back now. And a good moment this for him and the rest of the quartet.
Right? Once they decide for them to do that, how we game supposed to do.
Well, this is a Cavalier team shaping up today. Vino Bartlett, the St. Lucian goalkeeper, and he'll be between the sticks. Let's have a look at the starting lineup. Vino Bartlett in goal, Kenroy Campbell, Colin Anderson, Kimani Gibbons scored his first goal in the Premier League last time out. Giovanni Leng is back into the starting lineup. Gadale Irvin, Dwayne Busy Atkinson, Melvin Doxley, the other St. Lucian, Nicoshay Murray comes back into the starting lineup. Richard King and Adrian Reid gets a start in place, of course, technical director Rudolph Speed.
Yeah, and they're playing their customary 3-4-3 formation, and we're hoping that they will be as fluent as they were the last time out.
Yeah, that's the Waterhouse team doing their team photo. This is how they will line up. Kimar Foster between the sticks. Cardell Benbow, Ricardo Thomas, Damian Binns, Devroy Gray, Keithy Simpson. The experienced midfielder Elvis Wilson. Devontae Walker comes into the starting lineup. So too does Devon Dunkley. Kimani Campbell at left back, who's been a standout, and Shaquille Bradford in their regular number 9 position. They are coached by assistant coach Damian Gordon today with the absence of Marcel Gale.
Yeah, and they play their customary 4-4-2 formation, and Benbow will want to get more than, if he gets a hat-trick, then he's leading the goal scoring tally. Devontae Walker, just a 19-year-old, playing in the attacking midfield position. Jamaica Premier League powered by Digicel. Cavalier versus Waterhouse, the 3rd place playoff. As we mentioned, the absence of Marcel Gill, we'll come back to that a little more as we get ready, but what an absence he has been, and a major thing for Waterhouse. Very disappointing that he was not able to be here. Tyrone Robinson is ready, and we're off. Waterhouse in the blue and white, Cavalier white top with black shorts. As I said, Dwight Jeremiah, the absence of Marcel Gill at a critical point in the season for Waterhouse could have been the determining factor at the end of it all. Well, you know, he took the responsibility, and who wouldn't given the opportunity to coach a national team, and they did very well, just missed out a very, well, some say the narrowest of margin, just by a goal to nil in getting into the Under-20 World Cup. So yeah, we would feel pleased that he did a good job and he went to serve his country. He would have felt that he had persons in his coaching staff that was able to carry it over the line. That's not to be. I don't think he'll think that they've done a very bad job. I'm sure he would have been in contact with them nonetheless.
A double whammy for Waterhouse. There is Damian Gordon, his able assistant. Must have been disappointed that he couldn't carry them over the line in the semi-final against Harbourview.
But no doubt he'd want to finish as high up as possible for this Waterhouse team. It's always difficult, and like Ben said in the interview, it was difficult to get the boys up for this one because it was so disappointing not to be in the finals. It thinks that they're in a good mood now.
Yeah. It's a slow start so far in the first couple of minutes. Richard King with it, who scored a blinder in the semi-final. Richard King with his left foot from about 20 yards out into the far corner. And 3 on the season for him. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough.
No, it was one of many blinders on that night, Chris.
7 goals,
really good goals.
Dwayne Atkinson challenging, and it's just a very slow pace to start things out. No surprise.
No, a game like this, you as a spectator or a commentator, you beg for an early goal. That sort of gives you a nice little catalyst for things to get bubbly. So
I wonder if Cavalier will say that they treated us in the semi-finals to that 7-goal thriller, so don't get greedy. As we see Giovanni Lengonit, who lost his starting place in the second leg of the semi-final. He's back in today.
And they won that second leg 4-3.
Yeah, forced the extra time and then the penalty shootout, which uncharacteristically it was poor from a Cavalier perspective. They have been good in their last few penalty shootouts. They won the title last season on a penalty shootout. They got by Arnett Gardens in the quarterfinal. There is David Layla, the assistant coach of Cavalier. Also the head coach of Calabar High School in the high school leagues. A lot of these coaches showing their expertise at the different levels of Jamaican football.
Yeah, here I am doing commentary, and I'm a schoolboy coach
as well. And William did, Dwight Jeremiah, who did very well this year under the Costa Cup.
Yeah, I got to the quarters.
Here is Shaquille Bradford, who last season was the leading goal scorer, joint leading goal scorer, 6 goals. Here's Aberdeen Scarlett, the one of the assistant coaches of Cavalier. Shaquille Bradford, 5 goals this season to match it, well, not to match, but 1 short of the 6 he scored in an abridged season 2021.
I think he had a late start to this season because he was away on overseas export trying to...
Benbow with a shot inside the box, and it was blocked. A chance for Cavalier to come forward. Dwayne Busy Atkinson on it, and we know how he likes open play in terms of attacking the defence line of the opposition, but well broken up. Damian Binns overlapping. Here he is with it on the left foot across to Bradford. Bradford in the box, looks to cut it back, and it was broken up.
Yeah, I was looking for Benbow, but Benbow had continued his run. There was no player who...
Offside flag comes up as Kenroy Campbell was looking to free Dwayne Atkinson. And so Bennett says, not so fast. And Waterhouse come again. An increased tempo now in the last couple of minutes, which is kind of what we want to see.
Yeah, most definitely. I think a few goal mouth activities, pretty much has caused the players to sort of lift their tempo. You can imagine what a goal would do.
Nice 1-2 between Bradford and Devroy Gray. Broken up for the time being by Richard King. Been a standout player, Richard King, for Cavalier. And has looked good in the national colours as well. Such a young player in the centre-back role. Versatile ball handler and central defender.
Yeah, I give him top marks. I'm a coach that likes defenders who are good ball handlers, and he can carry well, he can make good passes and has height, good reading of the game, and no wonder he got a call up to the national setup.
Gadale Irvin here picked up his first assist of the season in the last game. He's playing the left hand side, I think, talented left foot, the Cavalier number 12.
And not only this, he's got a goal as well. Did he?
No, actually he didn't in the semi-final. He actually provided a goal for Kimani Gibbons.
Yes.
But he does have one goal on the season, Gadale Irvin, to go with that assist. Cavalier have been known to just like to sit back and pull the opposition out, maybe even tire the centre forwards in terms of constant running, and then use the pace they have up front. There's no Ronaldo Webster today, so probably he's been used off the bench as an impact player. But as you said, Irvin wide and Atkinson, of course, as Keith Simpson comes forward. As for Cardell Benbow, pass inside. Well, Richard King just blocks the advancing Kimani Campbell, who was, you might say, was a bit out of position.
In advance, I don't think the defender, there was nothing doing there because he just stood his ground coming across.
Corner to Waterhouse to be taken by Benbow. Attacking the area. Look like Kimani Gibbons with the ball away. Yeah. Comes back to Benbow. Benbow looking to get it in. And it just comes out to Gibbons.
Come on, man.
Kimani Campbell looking to come forward, a shot. And it's out for another corner. No Donada Thomas today for Waterhouse, one of their impact players so far this season. And their captain, regular captain, Ramon Howell, is not in the squad.
Well, Ramon Howell, I see not in the squad, you're right. And no Thomas, you're right. It's as I said, a lot of teams at times tend to use these games to look at other players or give other players opportunities.
Baines comes forward, Baines overlapping. Strong on the left side, good ball into the box, well handled by Bartlett, who's had such an improved season for Cavalier. When he came from St. Lucia, certainly struggled in terms of his footwork, Vino Bartlett, but he's improved a lot. Waterhouse continue to come forward. This is going to be too deep and over the bar.
And we look at the approach of Cavalier, as you said, sitting back and trying to pull teams to just draw them in and then hit them on the counter, play well through transition. I mean, it has brought them success because, like I said, last season when they won it, they went a long time without conceded, I think 461 minutes. But when you look at what they did in their last game with so much young, vibrant, attacking players, you beg to wonder. And especially in a game like this, the third and fourth playoff, would love to see them just go at it.
Cavalier host team who only conceded 18, so very difficult to break down these two teams. Well, you wouldn't tell in the semi-final where Dumbrole in the 4-3 to Cavalier, but yeah,
in the first leg for sure, and it was only a goal to nil to Dumbarholden. They made it difficult for Dumbarholden. It's just that I felt that Cavalier style of play, they came up against the best team in the league that I feel was best equipped to deal with a low block. But the midfield they have and the passing range they have and the way they play.
All over the top by King, easily handled by Kimar Foster, another man who's had an outstanding season for Waterhouse. There's young Adrian Reid, who is in the starting lineup today. St. George's player as well. Was overseas in the schoolboy season, then joined St. George's late and was a standout player for them, even though St. George's didn't have a good season.
Yeah, and he has football in his blood, as his father would have played locally as well.
Wasted pass yet again.
And also Waterhouse as well.
Adrian Reid Senior.
Yes.
Yeah. Tempo has dropped again. I somewhat question the leaving out of Giovanni Leng in the second leg of the semi-final, because he was a regular partner all season for Richard King, and they were arguably the best pairing in the Premier League, and that's a good sign considering they're only 20 years of age, each of them. But they left out Leng, as we see Jadine White, the reserve keeper, and the rest of the Cavalier bench. But was it to their detriment? They conceded 3 goals in that game, and there was especially that second goal for Tafaroy Bygrave that probably better marking would have prevented that. And yeah, the decision was just that they felt that another pairing was beneficial.
Well, they say, you know, hindsight is 20/20, so I guess we can sit here and say, well, you probably say, well, only after the fact you'd say that. But yeah, I think the end result would suggest that maybe you'd say, okay, they got it wrong because they won the game, yes, but conceded 1 goal too many in the end. That took them to the penalty spot, and they missed out there. But yeah, you have a pairing like that. I don't know if it was a case of any knock he was carrying. They didn't feel he was 100%. A lot of times as coaches, and I speak from a coaching standpoint, sometimes you make your decision, but a lot of things goes on behind the scene for you to try and come up with that decision. You know, foresight is very difficult, as they say, and hindsight 20/20. So, you know, in the end, they're here playing for the 3rd place.
Of course, the captain Kyle Ming is missing for Cavalier today. He's been top player in the central of their defence as well. Sometimes plays the right back role, Kyle Ming. And in terms of their advance to the semi-final round, he was excellent, even a man of the match performance as well.
Yeah, I think just in that first leg though, he was at fault, I think,
against Arnett Gardens.
Yeah, and then I think against McGregor
Arnett Gardens, Mount Pleasant.
And also Dunbeholden in that game, I think, you know, didn't pick up McGregor on the header, I think.
Cavalier looking to come forward. Gadale Irving on this left flank. Side to Atkinson. Atkinson, very tricky player. The Cavaliers first.
Yeah, and he got it through the legs there. Nice little play from Atkinson. He has been tracked all the time. He makes the run. Has been tracked by Ricardo Thomas, who did a good job on him early in the game, but there Atkinson won that battle, putting it between the legs, as they say, a salad in Jamaica, and then playing that 1-2 link up across. Didn't go to its intended destination, but he has a second opportunity to get it into the danger zone.
Yeah, he'll be taking the corner for Cavalier. Not the best though, and it's out for a goal kick.
So just as we expected, the difficulty in terms of lifting themselves for this type of game, but we hope it gets better as the game.
Looking to come forward on this occasion, Devroy Gray, and he's out for yet another corner to Waterhouse. There's Devroy Gray. Not the best season for Devroy Gray. His best season actually 4 goals when he was at Tivoli Gardens. 3 on the season for the Waterhouse. Number 28, Kimani Campbell to take the corner. Well, we did hear Ben say they're out looking for number 9.
So maybe on the back of Gray not having a good season, but they still managed to be top scorers in the regular round.
I was a bit surprised to hear them say that, considering, I mean, I could understand them saying that before Shaquille Bradford came in, as there's a ball put into the box yet again. Opportunity for Keithy Simpson, and they head off target. Not often nowadays Keithy Simpson gets forward. Played football all over the Caribbean, in Trinidad for a while. He also played in Finland, Keithy Simpson. 32 years of age, just off the mark. He scored 20 goals in his Premier League career, Keithy Simpson, including 2 this season. After time he spent, that was a little bit lackadaisical there from Nicoche Murray, and luckily for him, didn't fall well to Shaquille Bradford. Yeah, I was a bit surprised that he would have said that, considering that when Shaquille Bradford came in, he actually looked like he was fit for the role when he sought out his fitness, and injury woes after coming from overseas. As we see Cavalier having the majority of the possession, which is a bit of a surprise because Waterhouse have been certainly the better team going forward thus far. 47%.
The one thing we can say, I think Waterhouse has looked more threatening with their possession.
Nicoche Murray in the middle of the park with us. We did say he loves when Nicoche Murray is in the starting lineup for Cavalier because of how well he reads the game as a defensive midfielder. That being said, he was left out in the second leg as well. So
I guess he doesn't love him enough.
He pulled a surprise. Nice ball forward. Benbow has speed. It actually wasn't Benbow, it was Devroy Gray. And he's out for yet another corner. 4th now for Waterhouse. All have come from the same side.
I think King did well there, stuck with Gray. I didn't lunge himself to make a challenge because it was the right side of the goal, was goal side, and was ready to block any attempt from Gray. As he said, there's the shepherding him to that goal line.
Well, they're going for the in-swinger with Cardell Benbow this time instead of Kimani Campbell. And again, it's not the best delivery. Comes out to Benbow again. Dangerous from this kind of angle. Benbow cuts inside the box with the left foot. And, well, what an opportunity that was. And over the bar, well saved by Vino Bartlett.
It looked like Ben Bradford who got that one off, was it?
No, it actually looks like it was Walker. Good cutback by Benbow. Came off the foot of Melvin Duxley, and that's a top save by Vino Bartlett.
Yeah, Bradford was just to
Walker with a strike. Probably would have hit the crossbar hard. Vino Bartlett not gotten a touch anyhow. Corner again from Benbow. And again, it's not the best. And out for a goal kick.
It was a good move from Benbow, just a drop off the shoulder, drop off the right shoulder, then he went left, just blew by the defender, and then went to the goal line, looked for the cutback, which is always on once you carry the ball to that goal line, because defenders tend to get in line with that ball, and there's always the prospect or the opportunity to cut it back. And he did so, but Waterhouse couldn't capitalise.
What an opportunity for Devontae Walker after being brought into the starting lineup here for Waterhouse. Good exposure for him, and it was a good attempt. Kicked it one time, but the kind of season that the St. Lucian has had, Vino Bartlett, he wasn't going to allow that below the post. Kimani Gibbons, the Mr. Utility for this Cavalier team. It's across. Wow, Kemar Foster putting himself in an awkward position. It's a Charles Watkinson, and the recovery there was excellent. Was that Keithy Simpson, I think, who got right in the thick of things? Not sure what Kemar Foster was thinking, and he hasn't made many mistakes this season, but this was one.
Yeah, he felt he would have just taken that in the chest and just have it in his possession. Atkinson there was looking to spare his blushes with that miss there, just asking referee Robinson if that's not a deflection, but I think he got all got all the ball there, Atkinson.
He was under pressure.
Yeah, under pressure.
Simpson, and that's what threw him off.
But you still expected a player of his quality still to at least hit the target. Had he done so there, then it would have been a goal up.
Credit to Keith Simpson though, who made it very difficult. Would just have picked him up in his peripheral vision, Dwayne Atkinson, and probably made him take his eye off the ball at the last moment.
You always want your defenders to do that, just to get the attacker to think about something other than putting the ball in the back of the net, and sometimes that's just enough to get them to miss, and that occasion it was.
Kemar Foster will say thanks a million for that. That would have been an embarrassing moment for him. As Cavalier looked to come forward again, Damian Binns, he's been busy in the action so far, both in attack and defence. Player who was out for quite a bit of the season to a dislocated, is it that what you call eye socket?
Yes, it's certainly so.
Strange injury to have. And Binns was out for quite some time. Had to work his way back into the starting lineup for Waterhouse because they were doing so well. Malik Cockins had taken his position and was having a pretty good season as Waterhouse continued to come forward. Richard King is there yet again. Now Dunkley. Nice one-time pass out to Benbow. Benbow with the shot and taps it down, and luckily for him he recovers in time. And the quick release.
Yeah, always looking to get Atkinson going once he has the ball in his possession from open play. Bartlett.
Thomas.
I think that's Thomas's strength there. You always look to play the link up. One touch, two touch, Thomas.
Agree, shut down again. Well played by Elvis Wilson this time. Cavalier break it up. Yeah, that will be a whistle on the play. Foul on Ricardo Thomas. Just a bit late by Nick Murray. Former Wolmer's and Jamaica College standout, Nick Murray.
Yeah, I think Gray just got there ahead of him, just poked it away from Murray. Yeah, just got there and poked it away. Murray was very late.
There is Benbow, leading goal scorer for Waterhouse this season. Driving forward, nice idea. Pass probably a little bit too heavy for Walker. It's out for a goal kick. Third place playoff in the Jamaica Premier League 2022. And 0-0 after almost 22 minutes. Again a wasted pass. Waterhouse bring it away. Step overs by Dunkley and he's fouled by Irving.
Yeah, Dunkley recognised that he got the breakaway, but didn't trust himself in terms of running away from a Cavalier midfield, and as such just checked his progress and was waiting for support to come. Didn't come in time, but was quite clever in drawing the contact and getting that free kick. It's only the pace of the game, not up to a high level, but also the standard here today. I mean, the good thing I can say though is that throughout the entirety of the Jamaica Premier League has been a really good standard this season.
Yeah, it's been good to watch for the most part, and we've had some thrilling games as well. Another example of illustrating that is the fact that we've had quite a few of our JPL players getting into the National Reggae Boys team as well, and doing well,
doing well. Yeah, so
they don't look out of place.
You know, that's the important part. Not to just say they get a call, because some people say, okay, it's just being favoured for that position, but when they go on the international stage,
nice pass, put out wide, and Kimani Gibbons just can't get it in.
The fact that they don't look out of place tells you that it was the right decision to include them, and the fact that the league here is preparing them well for that level.
Because of course they would have rubbed shoulders with the overseas based players, whether in Europe or in the MLS as well, and as I said, more times than not they have done well enough. So The JPL continues to grow in terms of quality and exposure. Shows what playing football on good surfaces can do as well.
Yeah.
Not many better than Sabina Park, as we see the through ball, which is a little off key, and Kemar Foster will collect well and easily.
Yeah, we talk about the good surface all the time. I mean, a lot of persons would want to see the football return to the communities, and we know how important that is as well. But, you know, there have to be an effort to try and get these surfaces across the country to good level, top level, because it is a major recipe in playing good football.
Yeah. Is it a situation, Dwight, where maybe the JFF need to look at things and say, well, you know, maybe we need to earmark, say, 2 fields a year? I mean, obviously, you will have 6 to 8 fields that you might have looked at, but sometimes I think we're guilty of trying to fix everything at one time, instead of saying, well, let us have maybe a 5-year plan to improve the infrastructure, especially with the fields, and say we take 1 or 2 fields a year. And over a 3-year period, that would mean you'll have 6 fields that are up to scratch, which is a good sign that you could then play all throughout the island. Anyhow, ball out wide now to Atkinson. Did pick up a ball in a similar position in the semi-final and let fly. This time he's well tackled though by Elvis Wilson.
I feel Waterhouse would have done their homework, would have seen that goal and ensured that he doesn't have the space and time to cut inside. But on the topic of the field, yeah, and a lot of the clubs too can do more in terms of their surface. We give Gardeners a lot of credit. We saw games being played there and stood up to the traffic, so they did a lot of work in the downtime.
Gibbons driving forward, looking for the through ball. It's cut out by Waterhouse. Now Kenroy Campbell, one of those players who got experience playing for the Reggae Boys. Nice ball inside the box, dealt with temporarily by Waterhouse. It comes to Irvin, the swinging ball into the box. Kenroy Campbell is at the back post, has scored 3 already this season, and that is just wide from Kenroy Campbell. Allowed maybe a little bit too much space on his talented left foot, and Kemar Foster will be glad to see that dribble wide.
Yeah, Kenroy Campbell looking for his 4th of the season, but yeah, a couple of flick on there, one from Cavalier and then Waterhouse, and his eyes lit up there because he got an extra yard of space there and he let fly, but I think might have been safe on the line. The defender had positioned himself there.
There was a deflection, so it's out for a corner to Cavalier, and Elvis Wilson was at the far post guarding it in case. Reed with the ball into the box, and that would be too easy for Kemar Foster. The corners so far in the first 27 minutes or so haven't been good from either team.
Bradford was interested for a moment there, but always curling away from him and running away from him as well.
I actually think he's pretty good in that number 9 role, Shaquille Bradford, based on the fact that he's only played some of the season. Was their leading goal scorer last year with 6. Now this season has 5 in that area, 13 in his young Premier League career. And I agree that you'd probably want options, but I think Bradford as one of them, I think he's good enough for the level.
Yeah, I guess when you speak about that number 9, probably an experienced one
to partner him.
Yes.
Poor pass by Benbow on that occasion. Comes to Nick Murray. The tempo has dropped yet again. We saw 8 goals amassed in 2 games between these 2 teams in the season. We were hoping that is a sign that we'll see quite a few here this afternoon.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get to that, especially because of what is at stake and the fact that both these 2 teams, I think, are still smarting from the fact that they didn't make the final, and they're trying to pull themselves up to really put on a performance today. But on their day, when these 2 teams go all out attack, definitely you can see a repeat of 8 goals.
A victory here today, which team do you think it would mean more to?
I think for Cavalier, they're a young team, and the fact that they're the defending champions, yes, they'd say, well, we won it last year and we did fare well enough to almost get there to defend it.
Gibbons into the box. He should have been looking for Campbell, but it was a little bit inaccurate. Comes to Irvin. Yeah, they certainly have done their homework. Not allowing Atkinson in his space. Ricardo Thomas now tries forward. He also was in the Reggae Boys team as a wing back, Ricardo Thomas. Now to Benbow. Benbow. Shot blocked by Richard King. He's been in the right place at the right time so far in the half an hour play.
So as I was saying, yeah, Cavalier would feel pleased, you know, we were champions, we're third, so it shows a fair deal of consistency that you're at the busy end of the season doing what you're supposed to do if you're a team on the rise. For Waterhouse, as we see,
and Cavalier were 5th at the end of the preliminary round, so the fact that they would have ended up 3rd,
exactly,
improvement.
For Waterhouse, I don't think anything sufficed for not being in the finals to try and win it again. So
considering 3 times in the finals in the last 3 years and losing.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Well, 2 out of 3 maybe. The one of the year was, well, if you're talking about the completed season. Yeah, I see what you're saying. But yeah, definitely disappointing for them. And they have to find that formula to get them over the line. Third place would merely be a consolation for them, but I don't think it really...
I tend to agree with you there. I think for Cavalier, they have had in an old season, even though they did finish 5th, they have had some disappointing performances, especially for defending champion, as we see Adrian Reid looking to get in on the Keith Simpson is there again. Poor pass, it comes to Kenroy Campbell. No surprise that he's going to go onto the left foot, and it's well blocked by Wilson before it could get to Foster. Ricardo Thomas with a crossfield ball, which was pretty risky and inaccurate as well. But yeah, hard to replace, finishing top of the pile, best offensive team, best defensive team, and then you have
with the most clean sheets as well.
Most clean sheets, more saves, and you're not in the final competing for the title. So yeah, I think Waterhouse will be deflated. We haven't seen that fully so far. They still look hungry for a result here, but probably, yeah, might be more to Cavalier. Let's see.
King again doing very well. It's about the 3rd or 4th time we've seen him in one-on-one situation. I don't think he has lost a duel in this encounter so far.
Elvin Doxley with the crossfield ball to Irvin, but too much weight on it. Out for a throw. Important to note that there will be no extra time in the 3rd and 4th playoff. If they're all square after 90 minutes, it's straight penalties.
Well, I hope even if they're square, then it would have been square with goals. So I'm still hopeful of it. 33 minutes gone, but we've seen games, as we've always heard the cliche in football, game of 2 halves. This one isn't finished yet, but yeah, there's still time for this game to really explode into life.
Yeah, not many games that Waterhouse would go into or would end without scoring. Only 3 times it has happened all season.
Yeah, it talks about their attacking prowess, and like I said, most goals scored in the league. So you expect them when they play goals to be scored. Mind you,
even if they don't win.
Yeah, and they don't normally drill you anyway. So I mean, it's up their alley now. Waterhouse, you think you have the measure of them in games. That's how they've been this season, and then bomb, they pop up with a goal, and most persons say not attractive but efficient, and that's how they've been this season. It just didn't carry them over the line, and can't say that enough.
And as we said, it must be considered that without their head coach, even though Damian Gordon and company are reliable assistants, that there's a certain drive, there's a certain focus that comes when your head coach is around. And I'm wondering if that's something that needs to be looked at from a league perspective, and even from the mother body at the JFF. There's a whistle on the play. It's a strong whistle from Tyrone Robinson, and we're going to see the first yellow card of the afternoon. I figure it's going to be to Adrian Reid.
Youngster, 19, is it? And
late on the challenge.
15.
Yeah, 25 he has on. Adrian Reed. He doesn't want to get up and face the card. It's Kimani Campbell who is down. Another Georgian. Both of them attended St. George's or attend St. George's. And the yellow card to Adrian Reed, the younger of the two. Here it is, and yeah, that was a bit high. I think it was malicious from Reed, but the studs were exposed just over the ankle, and that's, yeah, that will be painful for Campbell. On his stronger left side. Nil all after almost 35 minutes, the third place playoff. Jamaica Premier League 2022, powered by Digicel. Of course, if you're watching, don't go anywhere. At 6 p.m. it's the final between Dumble Holden and Harbour View, 4-time winners of the Jamaica Premier League.
Yeah, so that challenge was quite strong.
There we see some of the Harbour View team there, Johnny Talbot, Phil and Lawrence and company.
Relaxing and getting themselves in the right frame of mind for what is to come later.
Donald
I did say Adrian Reed was 19, he's 15 years old, Adrian Reed.
Yeah, and there we see some of the Harbour View team and the crowd as well. They're piling in. We see the ever-present Waterhouse supporters in the blue and yellow. And we expect a jam-packed crowd as the afternoon goes into evening with the anticipation of the final, and we expect it to be a cracker. Harbour View and Dumble Holden first time getting so far in the competition, even though they have players with Premier League winning experience, quite a few. The irony of the situation is Harbour View have won 4 titles, none in their starting lineup have ever won the Premier League.
Yeah, but I can tell you
their squad list, I should say.
The culture is important, and you find that some teams, they do well because once they get into that dressing room, though they've never won it before, that culture is passed on to them by those who are in there. And you look at the coaching staff for Harbour View, past players as well, so they carry on that tradition and
Sean
culture.
Fraser, you alluded to. Especially.
Yes.
Donald Foley Stewart, who would have played national football for the Reggae Boys as well. We saw him in the shot a short while ago. Player down again. It's Reed. He's been in the thick of things in the last 5 minutes. Here he was, Adrian Reed, and a bit late there from
encouraging, and doing well at it is very encouraging. And Cavalier, we know their model won't change, and Stuart even spoke about him in the interview that he's an exciting one that they're really looking forward to continuing his development next season.
Well, here's Dwayne Atkinson from that dangerous position, decides not to shoot, instead he gives away the ball. I was a bit surprised here that he didn't attack the box.
He saw the option in front of him, and knowing Busy, if he thinks you're in a better position at times, he'll score. I think the goal he scored the other day when he dropped the shoulder in that semi-finals, I think he felt he didn't have any other option and backed himself.
Maybe you should believe that more often based on the quality of that finish.
Exactly, and he did well. He's coming off a good Caribbean championship as well.
Yeah, he was in the team of the tournament, Dwayne Busy Atkinson. It's been a good end to the season for him in terms of his individual performances, even though Cavalier are in the 3rd and 4th playoff. And is this going to be another card? Yeah,
Deborah agree. I think they're just really, the ball had gone a long time, just catching Irving
early. And Tyrone Robinson produces the 2nd yellow of the game. Strikers not necessarily known for their tackling skills, and therefore agrees true to that statement.
Yeah, we say clumsy.
Oh wow!
Yeah, just trotted on it.
It wasn't high, but he was very late.
Yeah, just stood in his.
He was a week late.
Yes. Probably that challenge was for next week. or the week before, rather, I should say.
Irving will be fine.
He's seen the funny side of it.
Tempo of this game will suit Cavalier more, I think. They like to slow down the game, welcome the opposition, and nice ball put into the box now. Chance here, and well, easy collection for Kemar Foster, and well, his kick wasn't the best for the time being. It's been held in by Devroy Gray. He struggled with his deliveries here at Sabina Park, Kemar Foster, as we look back at the chance. Took it a little bit too wide, Colin Anderson.
Yeah, I think you also have to give Elvis Wilson a lot of credit too, in terms of the way he stuck with it and ensure that he narrowed the handle, didn't give him the opportunity to pull the trigger when he had more of the goal to aim at, and it became very acute, and he felt it was always going to be difficult to beat Foster from that angle.
He's had his best season easily in the Premier League, Colin Anderson, 7 goals. And a good end finish.
And with that 7-goal, Cavalier's leading goal scorer.
Yeah. Melvin Doxley changes the play to Kimani Gibbons, who's had a pretty good one as well. Dangerous ball into the box. It falls to Irving. Irving looking for room, goes to the back post, and well, that's a handball from Colin Anderson. And he's probably going to be booked for that.
It's going to be good.
And another yellow card comes out. Well,
he'll tell you it's instinctive. It was just him there in the position, and ball just going away from him. Felt he would have gotten his head on it, and just at the last minute.
Here he is going in, and
yeah, because he was pulling away when he realised what he was doing. Just look at how he went, and then just trying to pull the hand down. Didn't move the hand towards the goal as well. So yeah,
he would have been offside as well, Colin Anderson, had he made legal contact. But yeah, he would have to improve his acting skills if he was going to get anywhere close to getting away with that. That was certainly not
nowhere close to the hand of God, eh?
So he goes into the book for his troubles. 3rd yellow card of the game. 2nd for a Cavalier player. Easy for Fino Bartlett. Cardell Benbow finally gets one on target. Campbell on his left side, which is the strong side. Ball goes out for a corner, and when Campbell does run at you like that, it looks dangerous. Kenroy Campbell, he's a talented player. I would believe that he's just 20 years of age, Kenroy Campbell. There we see the Harborview team coming in. Colorado Murray there, Timar Lewis, Ryan Wellington and company. Shane Staple, probably the most exciting right back we've seen this season, with 5 goals.
And you asked about the national setup.
Yes. Yeah, he hasn't been a part of it, but
no,
I'm sure he's.
I mean, I'm one who thinks
catching
that
eyes.
he should be and should have been, you know.
Well, the man who is on the part now has that position, Ricardo Thomas. As we see Kenroy Campbell putting one into the box, and that's way too deep. Well, he certainly didn't look at the wind conditions before the game, Kenroy Campbell. And that one was certainly gone with the wind.
Certainly did. Naila there, I think the coaching staff of both teams will do very well to just keep them in the game, or keep them focused, or trying to get them to lift the tempo. I don't think either of these two teams have come out of first gear.
Benbow is onside and space. This is dangerous. And look, just slightly behind Keith Simpson.
I think that was more for Bradford.
No communication.
Yeah, maybe he didn't call. But yeah, and based on his reaction, if he had called, he would have seen him more. He would be gesticulating a lot more.
Yeah, I wonder if it would have been slightly behind Bradford as well. Just look at this, Dwight.
we didn't see the full replay there, but nonetheless, I think it favoured Bradford more. Probably would have had more time to take 2 touches off it and not being closed down from a cover.
The situation we have here is that these characters, and I refer to them as pests, right? What they are doing is destroying our country, but not on my watch. No street, no turf, no block shall belong to these cockroaches, right? It's no longer business as usual. Happy hour is over. If they don't fear God, at least they will fear Terminix.
Have you considered how your methods could impact on pests across the country?
I find we look after the rights of pests as opposed to the rights of the 1.3 million law-abiding citizens in Trinidad and Tobago. I wonder if Roach Ladden's son come here for the carnival, if you'll interview me.
But how can you defend one shot, one kill?
What, you want me to throw a pillow at him?
I didn't say that.
No, well, if a roach jumps in front of you now, what will you do?
Run.
Oh, Jesus, Lord Father.
Pests bothering you? Call Terminix at 672-5007 or 672-0042 or visit our website at terminix.co.tt for a free quote and consultation. Join our fight against pests.
What is television? It seems like a simple question, but television means different things to different people. We in the Caribbean are very unique people. That's why we need unique television. Welcome to M&E TV, where we showcase our lives in the Caribbean. M&E TV is about us, the special way we talk, the way we walk, dance, move. M&E TV is about me. It's about you. M&E TV is about our amazing Caribbean experience.
It's here at a newsstand near you. It's the Guardian Lucky Number Draw. Your daily chance to win $1,000 instantly when you purchase the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian. It's quick and easy for your chance to win. A unique number will be printed.
If he just looked to knock it on the ground, but then he lifted that one, then it would have been a goal to Cavalier.
And that's the end of the first half, a low tempo one for both these sides. They have had their chances, none better than the Cavalier opportunity a short while ago, and that man is very difficult to beat this season. A double save for Kemar Foster, and he ensures that after 45 minutes it's Cavalier 0, Waterhouse 0. It's the final day of the Jamaica Premier League season. We're at the third and fourth playoff match here at Sabina Park, and it's Cavalier versus Waterhouse. We're locked at 0-0 after 45 minutes. Let's have a look at the first half highlights. Tyrone Robinson in charge of this fixture, and Waterhouse coming forward, ball into the box for Keith Simpson, and his header wide of the mark. Nothing doing. Waterhouse continuing to come forward. Cardell Benbow on the left flank, cuts it back, and then, yeah, nice attempt by Devontae Walker over the bar. Well saved, Vino Bartlett. He's had an outstanding season to St. Lucian for Cavalier. And then this awkward moment for Kimar Foster into the box. Should have probably controlled it and cleared it. In the end, it fell to Dwayne Atkinson, and it was good defending by Keith Simpson. Right place at the right time, making it difficult. Cavalier continued to come forward. This is an attempt from Kenroy Campbell, looking for his fourth of the season. And it was on target, deflected wide for a corner. Then this moment, into the box, Colin Anderson, very pacey forward, their leading goal scorer, Cavalier. And he was well blocked out. Then Cardell Benbow, looking for Shaquille Bradford. Keith Simpson didn't know and couldn't control his header. The ball was slightly behind him though from Cardell Benbow, and over the top. Not often you see Keith Simpson in the attacking box. Then this moment, a double save for Kemar Foster just before the half-time whistle. Great double save. You think that Colin Anderson should have scored there, and his confidence with 7 already on the season from the second attempt, should have just lifted that over Foster, but take nothing away from the stalwart between the sticks for Waterhouse. And that was all she wrote for 45 minutes. 0-0 in the third place playoff. The first half statistics: 2 shots on target from 5 attempts for Cavalier, 3 on target from 5 for Waterhouse. We have seen some 3 yellow cards, and there have been 9 fouls between the two. 2 offsides for Cavalier, 2 corners they have had as well. Waterhouse, they have had 5, and they haven't made best use of the corners, either team. And 5 saves between the 2 keepers. Vino Bartlett with 3 of them. Majority of the possession for Cavalier, but after 45 minutes, we're all locked at 0. Cavalier 0, Waterhouse 0. We go to a break. When we come back, second half action in the third place playoff, JPL 2022. We're back at the Mecca of cricket, Sabina Park, Kingston, Jamaica. The Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel. So football action, Cavalier nil, Waterhouse nil after 45 minutes. And the rain has started here. It's been overcast all afternoon, pretty cool here. Chris Taylor is my name. I'm still here with Dwight Jeremiah. And Dwight, we're, I'm sure, hoping for an increased tempo to the game in the second 45.
As my name would suggest, a prophet, but I can't prophesy this one. It has been so in terms of the pace of this one. Can't tell you what's going to happen, but what I hoped is for these two teams to really lift the tempo. Waterhouse, we know in the regular season, did get the double over Cavalier, but they didn't look anything close like getting anything from it or going ahead in this one. It was really Cavalier who have had the better of the chance in terms of goal scoring. That double save from Foster really was a difference between Cavalier leading this one. But Waterhouse certainly will have to lift themselves. You know they're still smarting from that loss that knocked them out of the semi-finals or knocked them out of the final spot. But yeah, both these two teams will have to make this a game of two halves.
Yeah, well, just a light drizzle at the moment. This surface made for cricket, so the drainage excellent, so there's no worry of a waterlogged field. Speaking of the Mecca of cricket, West Indies are actually taking on Bangladesh at the moment. West Indies making 193 for 5 in the T20 International. Bangladesh struggling at 138 for 5 after 18.2 overs. So it looks like the West Indies are going to get over the line. Rovman Powell, the Jamaican hero, with 61, and Brandon King, another Jamaican, with 57.
Well, it's good to hear good news of the West Indies doing well. And as you say, we can mention that we're at the Mecca of cricket. Did you know, Chris, I did make my debut for Trelawney cricket team, senior cricket team, playing right here at Sabina Park.
I can't believe that.
I was a little skid-on bowler, a lot of swing when I played, but yeah, the rain coming here.
Yeah, extra overcast now. Does look a little bit promising when you look towards the east, because there is quite a bit of light and the clouds are breaking up somewhat, so maybe later this evening for the final we should be okay, but now just a light drizzle, and it probably will make the ball skip across the surface a lot quicker. Who do you think that would benefit more?
I think the team that likes to pass it very well, and you know, down behold, and they like to put the ball down and they pass it silky, smooth passes. When you get a greasy surface, always good for that. The great teams, the Barcelona and stuff, they always wet the pitch and allow the grass to be a little bit greasy to allow the ball to skid across.
Yeah, I agree with you, Reid Dumble Holding. I think in this encounter though, maybe with the likes of Cardell Benbow in the wide areas, or how Waterhouse played, do you think that the actual extra greasiness of the surface might work to their advantage, considering that Cavalier like to slow it down and play very slow?
And Cavalier, they tend to look to go direct at times, and so they try to hit Atkinson up the field. So yeah, Waterhouse will look to build up the play a lot more. So in terms of these two teams, for sure, maybe Waterhouse it would favour.
All right, we're getting ready for second half action. Not much to say in the first 45. The best opportunity came in, well, the 45th minute for Cavalier. Was a save by Kemar Foster.
He felt Anderson should have scored though.
Yeah, I think so.
He just needed to lift that one a little more composure. I think he just rushed the shot. Wasn't under direct pressure at the time.
And he kicks it straight to Kemar Foster. A little dink over the keeper, and the fitness. It may be a part that
he's our
Colin
player.
Anderson's game that needs to improve. Known for his speed. And the whistle goes for the start of the second half. Tyrone Robinson, the man in charge. And Waterhouse in their well-known light blue and white kit. Cavalier in their grey and black. Ball over the top by Giovanni Ling, looking for Dwayne Atkinson. Like space. This could be dangerous. Good skill by Atkinson into the box. Looks to cut it back. Not sure who was lurking there, probably Adrian Reid, but didn't find. Comes to Reid. Well, Melvin Doxley goes right in his way. It comes out now to Campbell on the left foot, and that's the opening goal. Ken Roy Campbell, his 4th goal of the season, and finally a goal in this fixture. Well deserved by Cavalier. They had the better of it towards the end of the first half, and no 10th clean sheet for Kemar Foster. Kenroy Campbell, lovely finish with the left boot into the far corner, Dwight.
And there he showed composure, came across to him, found that he was in acre of space, just a little ping-ponging happening there but once that ball came out to him, played out wide. He just settled himself 2 touches and then placed it away from Foster. Foster had no chance advancing, but just a curler to the top corner. And a smart finish from Campbell there.
Kenroy Campbell, his 4th of the season. This fixture certainly needed a goal. And, well, maybe against the odds, you would say it has come for Cavalier based on how the season has gone. Waterhouse doing the double over them. But yeah, they ended the first half the better of the 2 teams, Cavalier, and they have started the second half as such. And that was a good finish. I just wonder about the Waterhouse rotation in terms of their defence. No one picking up Campbell. So much space inside the 18-yard box. And always dangerous to do.
They afforded him so much time that he could take 2 touches before the shot. So 3 touches in the box and still wasn't closed down. I think the defenders just overcompensate. Went in, just shifted across too much. And once he appeared on the outside, there was no Waterhouse player looking to get close enough to close him down.
Yeah, way too easy for Kenroy Campbell as we see another whistle on the play. Vino Bartlett, who in the semi-final round, it must be said, spent a lot of time on the turf, struggling with groin injuries, muscle strains, and just refused to come off. Did well, did brilliantly in the first penalty shootout against Mount Pleasant.
I tell you what, he's a tricky customer though. He might have been injured for sure in that game, but I remember interviewing him after a game where he was man of the match, and he was going down regularly in that game as well. It was up by the Captain Burrell Centre of Excellence, and he said to me, I wasn't injured, I was just managing the game. But he was quite convincing in his display as well, so I'm not quite sure. I was not on call on that game, I saw it, yeah, but from what he told me, he can really act in that regard.
We've seen quite a few keepers do similar things and say it's part of the management of the game. But yeah, even from an early stage, even after 5 minutes, he was down in that game. It was obvious that he
maybe genuine
had some
that time.
difficulty. Yeah. Vino Bartlett helps in Lucia qualify for the Gold Cup as well. His last game was a clean sheet, a 3-0 victory.
I mean, he's only 22 years old. I mean, they say with goalkeepers they get better as they age. So, long way for him, and a lot of improvement we suspect as well.
His opposite number, Kemar Foster. Another wayward pass, gives it away. Cavalier continue to come forward. They have started the second half the better of the 2. Another ball put into the business area, but the slight greasiness of the surface now due to the drizzle. Just let that skip along and go out of play. It was from Gadale Irving. Actually, it was a good ball into the box.
It was. He just put it in there and just asked one of his players to just get on to the end of it. Just go ahead and gamble and see if you can get there. Just one player at the time that decided to gamble for it, but was decent ball.
This has not been a good, and there again, Kemar Foster a little bit too complacent. Waterhouse nearly give Cavalier another opportunity. Kenroy Campbell, the goal scorer, coming forward looking for Reed, broken up by Benbow. He has had to come deep to get the scored a brilliant goal in the semi-final from this kind of range, but the pass to Adrian Reed, and it was well blocked.
Yeah, and King, just look how high he came. He came away halfway line to Rob Gray.
Here is Benbow. King is out of position. The pass quite slow to Bradford. Bradford on the right foot, looking for a shooting opportunity. Who is down? And he's the north stand end or the stand end. Of course, Kingston Harbour behind the George Headley stand in the distance. The Cavalier pushed will. They have been kept scoreless all season. And they have played some 25 matches now. Here they are. And that pass was a little off key from Ricardo Thomas, and Benbow can't control it.
Yeah, you saw what Thomas was trying to do, just to create a decoy with that run inside. Look as if he was going to let fly with a shot.
Ricardo Thomas hasn't scored this season but has 3 assists to his name. Waterhouse have been pretty even in terms of their goal scoring this season, but the stat does favour second half goals. They've scored 19 in the first half, 22 in the second half, so fairly even, but the stat will favour them. Here
what does favour them is what you said earlier, is that they've only failed to score in 3 games, and you expect them to score when they play. So we're hoping that we'll get that goal.
If things do become square at the end of 90 minutes, we go straight to penalties. There will be no extra time in the third place playoff. There will be extra time in the final, however, if needed, before the dreaded penalties.
Into that he might require to be substituted. He was given that universal signal, so whether or not the medics will concur with him.
When you look to the bench, you wonder who would be the change for him. Probably the likes of maybe Mario Smith, young midfielder, who you did the interview with earlier.
Yeah, and he's hoping to get a game, you know.
Last opportunity for the season, so yeah, he could be one of the players looked at, or maybe Jerome McCleary. And it is actually Jerome McCleary who is being prepared. So the number 13 for Cavalier. So you were right, Dwight. Nick O'Shea Murray's afternoon is over. Struggled earlier in the season with fatigue. Rudolph Speed spoke about how much he likes Nick O'Shea Murray being in his starting lineup just because of what he brings. And yeah, is this an opportunity for Waterhouse to exploit the middle of Cavalier? He's off, young McCleary is on. Came on in the last game as well in the semi-final, second leg.
Yeah, what they tend to do at times though is to they ask Doxley to drop deep at times too and play that role. Let's see whether or not he'll be asked to do that again.
Here is Dunkley. Crossfield pass to Keith Simpson. Comes out to Ricardo Thomas. Thomas with a shot, and it's over the bar.
Yeah, that was ambitious from Thomas. Good keeper in Bartlett. But certainly is confident enough to attempt that.
Good skill there by Giovanni Ling on the left hand side. Loves to overlap as well, Ling, but maybe getting too adventurous. Doxley has to clean up his mess, and it's back to Vino Bartlett. King. That's a nasty challenge by Dunkley, reckless, and well, he will see yellow as well. Devon Dunkley St. George's schoolboy, he goes into the book. And making what? This is the 5th yellow of the contest. 2nd for a Waterhouse player. Both himself and Devroy Gray in the book. And yeah, that was a bit wild from Dunkley. He's grown quite a bit.
Yeah, he has.
In the off-schoolboy season, etc.
It's just so important in their development that they get the opportunity. And if they're good players, the measure we normally do as coaches and scouts, if a player is good enough, a young player, he should be able to compete with ages, at least 2 age above his own.
Ball forward, Campbell. And it's off Campbell, so it will be a goal kick. He thinks that it should have been a corner. That's something to say to the assistant, Princess Brown. Goal kick it is. Again, a little bit lax at the back from Waterhouse. And as you said, right, just that extra energy from Waterhouse, not really there just yet. They're still going through the motion. You can see how they're defending. It's almost as if, you know, it's whatever comes, whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, it's almost as they're saying, you know, if we win this, it still wouldn't appease our fans. They you know, they're disappointed, and like I said, understandable. But yes, you have, as the coach says, an increase in prize money to finish high up the league. So, you know, in the scheme of things, will go a far way. So, players, the management are hoping will just be able to lift themselves to be able to get this 3rd place.
Damian Binns to take the free kick. Can there be more impetus going forward for Waterhouse? Ball into the box. Finds probably the shortest man on the pitch, Cardell Benbow. And he tries to head it on. It's out for a goal kick.
Yeah, just an open letter there, just trying to make something of it. I don't think he was really trying to score, just trying to keep it alive. But in the end, the free kick was poor. He couldn't salvage anything from it.
It's been a good couple of seasons for Cavalier. They broke a 40-year drought after winning the Premier League in 1981. Won it last year for the first time since then. And now get into the semi-finals, and if things remain here, they would be 3rd. Disappointed that they would not be able to have retained their title. However, it's been a good patch here and a good sign that, as you said, the young footballers doing well. Harbourview, another team that believe in youth, especially at this level, and they are in the final. So it's a good sign for Jamaican football.
Yeah, it is, and to think, as I said, they'll be happy to finish 3rd because of how their season started too for Cavalier. For the first 10 games, they didn't have a back-to-back win at that time, was really struggling. So to be here, we feel, and at the moment in the driver's seat to be 3rd, decent season.
Well, we'll see a team after this, Dwight, who also didn't have any back-to-back wins in the early round. As we see a ball put in the box, Harbourview struggled with that. In fact, they were consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, that's the consistency of the inconsistency, if you could say that. They set up a pattern at one stage.
Here's Benbow looking to come forward, broken up by Kenroy Campbell. He's had a good game. Now it's Colin Anderson. He loves space. He is a far way away from goal though. Comes inside to Adrian Reid. They now slow up the play, Cavalier. Allow the Waterhouse players to get back. Irvin on the weaker right foot, and it's away by Binns. Gibbons, a goal and an assist in his last game. To Doxley, nice ball into the back post from Atkinson, and it's in the back of the net. Dwayne Atkinson, not very often you see him score with his head. His 7th of the season, now joint leading goal scorer for Cavalier. And Cavalier now with a 2-goal cushion. Nice ball by Melvin Doxley and a great cushion header by Dwayne Atkinson. Kemar Foster beaten again.
Yeah, it was really a good from the ball left the boot of Doxley. You knew it was a good ball before Foster was initially interested. took a few steps out and realized it wasn't a ball that he was going to get to, and a looping header from Atkinson, well controlled, decent ball. You see Foster there looking to come and then realizing nowhere near that, and then to the far post. Very well headed there from Atkinson. This is his third attempt of a header, 2 in the first half that he was offside. This time stayed onside. It was a slower build-up, and third time lucky, this man.
Dwayne Atkinson has been in good goal scoring form, 7th of the season. Cavalier are going to make another change. Adrian Reid is off. He's been struggling with injury. And Omario Henry is on. Cavalier with a 2-goal cushion. Dwayne Atkinson, that was a lovely finish by Dwayne Busy Atkinson. And as we said, now 7 on the season. It's been a good finish for him.
Yeah, joint with Colin Anderson as their leading goal scorers.
Here is Waterhouse. We spoke about their miserable defending in this third place playoff, and that continued. Where was the marking for Dwayne Atkinson? The right back not in position at all, which should have been what, Ricardo Thomas.
I think again the same thing occurred where the defence just shift too much, overcompensated in terms of going ball side and giving up the space on the far side. But one thing that you can do to counter that, when the ball is in flight, it can't be played by anyone, and so the defenders needed to shift and move quickly to close down. There was no urgency in doing so, and Dwayne Atkinson, though still had a lot to do, was free to do it.
Waterhouse, they are going to make a couple changes of their own, and why not? Andre Leslie, long-time member of this Waterhouse team, he comes on, 3 goals on the season. He replaces Devroy Gray. Andre Leslie has been playing for Waterhouse since 2014. A man who scored 12 goals in his Premier League career.
Maybe he has 3 this season.
Yeah, I'm sure Waterhouse would love him to be a little bit more consistent, especially going into next season. Does have good games, but as you said, lost his starting place just because of the inconsistency. There's the leading goal scorer in the JPL, Atafaroy Bygrave, and Javon James comes on as well. Here's Atafaroy Bygrave, joint leading goal scorer with Daniel Green from Mount Pleasant with 13.
We know Green can't increase his tally, so he has the chance to go outright for the golden boot. Bygrave,
what a moment it will be for Bygrave, just based on his history as a footballer, and by far his best season, and he's en route to Vietnam on a contract. So
and to think he missed last season pretty much to a sense, and some felt he was injured, but I spoke with Paul Christie, the manager.
Still managed 3 goals though.
He was still out of place in terms of the length of time he missed in last season.
That move he made to Antigua certainly helped him big time at Atafaroy Bygrave in terms of gaining his confidence. Then he came back here, joined Dumble Holding, and as I said, 3 goals in. It was a shortened season, a 10 game season, and then this season he's been nothing but brilliant for Dumble Holding. One of the main reasons why they're going to be in that match at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, as I said,
7 o'clock Eastern time.
Started out well and then just lost his way, I was told, and was missing for a while, and many felt he was injured, but told he wasn't. But you said maybe that move really helped him sort himself out, and he has come back with a bang and has found an able partner in McGregor.
Well, Waterhouse, they have a lot of work to do as well, and they are down by 2-0. Looking to come forward is Devon Dunkley, one of the players blessed with a starting place today. They're just not been good defensively, Waters, as I said, going through the motions, and you hit the nail on the head, Dwight, that this probably meant more to Cavalier, and they are showing that. It's been 2 goals, 1 for Kenroy Campbell, his 4th of the season, and 1 for Dwayne Busy Atkinson, his 7th.
And they're probably looking to try and return the favour on Waterhouse, who in both games in the regular season put 3 past them. Still have the opportunity to score a 3rd, and based on how Waterhouse is playing, could be more than 3.
Yeah, Waterhouse a 3-0 victory first time out, and then 3-2 in the second encounter. So Cavalier were improving all the time, as we see Cavalier with the majority of the possession and all of the goals. But yeah, so you would say if you're looking at it from a Cavalier perspective, 3-0 in the first, love 3 in the first game, then 2-3, so we are getting better. Now leading, so
the progression is shown.
And you spoke about that in terms of how they started slowly as defending champions. Cavalier very disappointing, and as the season went on, they got better.
And Woodham Speed will say to you that, and he did say to me the last time I spoke with him in the first leg of the semi.
Here's another opportunity as Colin Anderson comes forward, finds Dwayne Atkinson. That pass is not going to make it.
But his body was never shaped to make that pass. His whole dynamics was off. And you often say that to players, you're not shaped for that pass, so don't attempt it. But guess what? It's the area of the field where you tell your players, take the risk.
Andre Leslie from somewhere out, and it's wide of the upright. Easy for Vino Bartlett. Andre Leslie just coming onto the park, as you said, 3 and a brace actually initially came on for Devroy Gray, Devroy Gray has actually been the super sub for Waterhouse, so a bit surprised that maybe he was starting instead of coming off the bench. 3 goals off the bench, couldn't add to it today. And there's Javon James, who came on for Devontae Walker. Javon James, the leading assist maker, believe it or not, for Waterhouse. Nice ball played through. Here is Shaquille Bradford into the box for James. Set up, hesitation, and then over the bar. Wow, that's a poor finish by Keithy Simpson.
Yeah, James got that one with his back to goal. Couldn't sort his feet out in time to really get a shot on target. We see it here. Good ball, and Bradford lashed onto it from Benbow into the box. James there, just outside the near post as well. Once it laid it inside. Keithy Simpson there, just leaning back, always going high.
2 things that worked against Waterhouse there. Javon James, when you saw Bradford with the ball, you have to know what you're going to do with it before you get it. So position yourself to
so
get
he was
off
never
the strike.
ready for
right.
that.
He was never ready, which has been a criticism of Javon James. He's only scored twice this season and worked very hard. His work rate excellent, but in terms of his finishing ability, that's something he needs to brush up on. He has 5 assists to go with that. But yeah, Keithy Simpson, there's a shot just wide of the mark. That was from some way out from Ricardo Thomas.
And he's been trying that all game long.
Hasn't scored those so far this season. And Vina Bartlett was a little bit concerned this time. Good crossfield pass, and as he picked it up, he was going for goal. Good power behind it. And comfortably wide in the end.
Yeah, I was just waiting for the ball to sit up nicely for him. You see, when he took it down, he just allowed a few bounces and just latched onto it. Didn't get on target.
Keeps it in, does for Mario Henry, but no, we'll keep that in. Wayward and out for a goal kick. 3rd place playoff in the Jamaica Premier League, powered by Digicel. Cavalier 2, Waterhouse 0, after almost 69 minutes. Nice ball put into the box again by Bradford, but it's behind his teammates. Cavalier just a little bit careful here. No flag from Princess Brown. Colin Anderson onside. Anderson into the box and a finish. What a finish that is by Dwayne Atkinson. Oh, he's such a talented player, Dwayne Busy Atkinson. Had a really slow start to the campaign with just 1 goal. And he's come back with a bang. 8 goals now in the season for the Cavalier number 10. Kemar Foster, beaten for the 3rd time this afternoon.
And I want to tell you, 3 good goals here. Just coming in on that blind side, surprising the defender. And a smart finish there from Atkinson. One-time finish. Beautiful foot side there. Foster, no chance at all to stop that one. That was instinctive. And he was coming into the position. The ball was just served up in a position there. He was coming from the blind side, surprised the defender. And when you're an attacker and you can surprise the defender, always good for you. You tell your strikers to do that. He knew where he wanted to go. Had a run on the defender who felt he had time and space. No time in the end.
Yeah, so 8 on the season now for Dwayne Atkinson, and Cavalier certainly running away with this one. Well, we did ask for goals, we're getting them now.
We said they were going to try and return the favour onto Waterhouse, who put 3 past them twice in the regular season. They're 3-0 up. I think they can go better based on how Waterhouse is playing here. And Busy Atkinson now the outright leading goal scorer for Cavalier with 8. Just going 1 ahead of Colin Anderson.
Yeah.
Who provided the assist?
His quality, yeah. Colin Anderson with the assist on this occasion. His first assist of the season. Colin Anderson. Waterhouse looking to come forward. It falls to Leslie, and well, the less we say about that, the better from Andre Leslie. There's a double holding team. Stefan Duar, the referee, in front. And there we see Fabian McCarthy, O'Dane Samuels, and the rest looking to make history today. Double holding. Shakil Daya coming in as well, their captain. And there's Kimoni Bailey, who scored that impressive goal in the second leg semi-final. Double holding. They'll be looking to win their first title at this level. Cavalier looking to win their third place trophy and doing a good job of it at the moment.
Yeah, you'd be a brave man to bet against them at this stage. Not only because of how they're doing in the second half, but the fact that how badly Waterhouse is playing. You spoke a lot, Chris, about their defensive exploits today. Really been poor. And again, that ball to Colin Anderson was played to the wide area, parallel of that 18-yard box. No one engaged them. Just so much space there. And Waterhouse employing more of like a 3 at the back space, you'd feel, either side, because they're certainly overcompensating when they go to protect ball side.
Yeah. We got a nice shot of the stands there. A lot more patrons coming in. A lot making the journey like you, Dwight Jeremiah. From maybe the north and the west as well.
I don't know if any of them in the stand. Well, a few in the stand, I'm sure, has made the way from Trelawney like I did.
Great to see.
I know of two.
Yeah, well supported here, the Jamaica Premier League. And of course, the final coming up at 6 p.m. Jamaica time, 7 Eastern Caribbean. Another opportunity for Cavalier, and it's in the back of the net. Poor defending yet again from Waterhouse, and it's Kenroy Campbell to Gadale Irvin. Irvin with his second of the season, a thumping finish past the outstretched hands of Kemar Foster. Wow, what a performance this is from Cavalier, and especially here in the second half. Cavalier 4, Waterhouse 0.
Yeah, that was a thumping finish and a smart ball as well. Again, just coming centrally, then playing out wide slightly, and then that finish. Yeah, Foster under the crossbar and into the back of the net. He put everything behind that one, and before Foster could react, that one was rolling down or rippling the net. Yeah, there you have it. Foster's hand went up when that ball was rolling down the back of the net. Good ball playing out, and it rippled it, and boy did he enjoy that one.
Well,
amazing even himself.
Cavalier are destroying this Waterhouse defense, who, it must be said, have been poor, especially from the wide areas. Their wingbacks does not covering well at all. Kimani Campbell and Ricardo Thomas nowhere in sight from the wide areas. And as you said, maybe just a sign that they're not putting their full efforts into this encounter. But Cavalier, they want it, and their finishing shows it.
Well, his mates have been signed that we were seen before this game. Yes, they didn't do well enough in the playoffs or in the semi-final, but their last regular game of the season, Arnett Gardens did put 4 past them. That game ended 4-2 in favour of Arnett Gardens, so maybe the signs were there.
Yeah, it was a 4-2 win for Arnett. Granted, Waterhouse had already assured their first place finish, so you might have said to yourself, well, they're a bit complacent. Nevertheless, did concede 4, and now here, but this is a team only had the best defensive record.
Yeah, 18 goals throughout the 22 games, and now 4 in one game. As I said,
here is Waterhouse looking to come forward. Keith Simpson, nice pass out to Ricardo Thomas, probably a little too hard. And yeah, Keith Simpson might have been better off going for goal himself.
I was about to say that, Chris. You said nice pass out, but I think it would have been nicer for him to go after goal.
Cavalier looked to come forward. Kenroy Campbell. Again, look at the amount of space for Henry here. Nobody in position. Kimani Campbell out of position. Javon James coming back to assist. Now out to Atkinson. Well, Atkinson, unusually a bad touch. And he's out for a goal kick. So you think about it, the last game of the season, Waterhouse went down 4-2. They ended the preliminary round conceding 18 goals overall. So they really played 21 games, conceding just 14.
So that was impressive, very
good
impressive.
They were, yeah.
But on that note too, you were talking about them maybe because of the fact that they had qualified, they decided to take the foot off the gas.
Substitution coming up for Waterhouse, making another change. Beadle coming in. And Beadle, Ricardo Thomas came on in the semi-final as well. He's on for Ricardo Thomas, who's had a miserable afternoon defensively for sure. Did have a couple of moments when he went forward, and he's not impressed at all. His team, Waterhouse, have been obliterated by this Cavalier team, especially here in the second half. And the way they're playing, it seems as if they could add more.
Yeah, you wouldn't bet against that. Bradford there just trying to bring some consolation to Waterhouse. And to think that Benbow came into this game just 2 goals off the leading goal scorers, you feel maybe a motivation for them to try and get him up there.
Here is Campbell, finds the same Benbow. Benbow looking to cause trouble. Out to Keith Simpson. This is the most I've seen Keith Simpson in and around the 18-yard box all season. Shot is blocked. It comes to Kenroy Campbell. Out to Anderson. Anderson loves space and pushes it along. To Dwayne Atkinson, who was switch flanks. Not sure what he was attempting there, but it's way off target. Now Benbow. Benbow forward to Binns. Binns. That must have been a shot by Binns, but it could never have been a pass.
Yeah, he had 2 players in the box. I think it was James and Bradford. That ball was meant for none of them and there was no one overlapping on the far side. Just overcooked it, or as you said, would have been really ambitious to go for goal from there.
That's a frustrated look on the face of assistant coach Damien Gordon. He has not had an enjoyable playoff period at all. He's been in charge with the absence of Marcel Gill due to national duties. Marcel Fuzzy-Gill away with the under-20 team that didn't go well either, failed to qualify for the under-20 World Cup. And Damien Gordon has struggled with the Waterhouse team. This is Leslie, and it's off target. Bartlett was out of position, but wide of the target. And yeah, you look at the Waterhouse faces, they're probably anxious for the 90 minutes to be up.
Yeah, but Bartlett was out of position with that shot. He felt if he was on target, would have struggled. And when he saw the shot unleashed, he just looked around anxiously.
Nice move here by Leslie. Just going out wide, and then Beadle with the shot, but probably
looking to curl it to the far corner. I guess you'd have to have about 3 goals stopped on top of one another.
Wrong sport there. Rowan Beadle. We are at a cricket ground. That certainly would have been the maximum. Fans piling in. Lovely afternoon here at Sabina Park. It's actually pretty cool because there's a nice breeze coming across the ground.
It's really cool condition. Good for football today.
Waterhouse looking to come forward. Can they get a consolation at this point? Can Cardell Benbow add something to this really good season he has had? It's his best scoring season in the JPL. It's hard to believe that his best season before this was 7 goals. Anyway, the ball taken away from him. Comes to Campbell, a bit lackadaisical. Beadle wins it. And that would be a free kick.
Yeah, Campbell said he got the ball, but he was coming from behind and took Beadle's feet from under him. Campbell feeling that Beadle is making the most of it.
And now ball put through. Javon James looking for his 3rd of the season. Well saved, Vino Bartlett. And Waterhouse taking the kick quickly and caught Cavalier off guard. Well, custodian Vino Bartlett did very well. They continue to come forward now to Cardell Benbow. And should he have taken that shot with his left foot? It was a wonderful tackle by Richard King. And no joy for Waterhouse.
King has been excellent this game, like I said, in open play. I don't think he has lost the duel, and then putting himself on the line in the way there, blocking that shot. But Bembo was looking to open his body up to go to the far side, but there was so many body there, I think he's never going to get through.
Very unwilling to use his left foot, and I don't know why Cardell Benbow, because the option was there for the left-footed strike.
Was better.
Yeah, was better. He probably would have scored, because I think he was Dina Bartlett was quite exposed at that point.
And was anticipating the ball going to that far side, so yeah.
Yellow card, Kenroy Campbell. Another yellow card, that makes it number 6, it is? Yeah, number 6 for the night. 4 now to Cavalier. Kenroy Campbell, the latest of them. He has a goal and an assist and the yellow card, Kenroy Campbell, so he has a full suit.
Well, let's hope he doesn't go up a notch with the card and go to red.
Certainly a foul there, and I think probably the yellow card was more for something he said. Kenroy Campbell, team leading by 4 goals to 0. You just need to keep your composure.
Yeah, and he had a lot to say with the free kick he gave away before that, so referee Robinson just want to quiet him down a little.
He's heard enough. Been setting up over this, it probably favours the left foot of him based on the angle, but I'm sure Cardell Benbow wants to make it a dozen for the season. Looks quite focused. 11 goals, 3 assists, Cardell Benbow. I guess not, it's Binns, and it's over the top. Hasn't scored so far this season, Damien Binns.
He's never close to opening his account there.
Well, the SportsMax app moment is this. Melvin Doxley, ball to the back post, and a lovely cushion header by Dwayne Atkins. No, that was a talented finish by Dwayne Atkinson. Not an easy finish by any means, and certainly to beat Kemar Foster like that, who has had such an outstanding season. That is the SportsMax app moment, and his 8th goal of the season, Dwayne Busy Atkinson. Of course, the SportsMax app, you can watch so many things on it, so many sports on it. You should download it now if you haven't already, and I'm sure many persons in the fans in the stands are watching it on their phone as well. He isn't. He's quite frustrated at the Waterhouse performance, and the frustration continues.
Yeah, that looks like a frustrated strike from Benbow. Haven't really had a few look-ins, yes, but certainly not enough being let in by his players. So really slow in terms of really building up, not really getting on the head of steam today. And Waterhouse, maybe the rest was too much for them, you feel?
Well, as we said, it's just been a struggle for Waterhouse in the playoff period. I think a big deal is the absence of Marcel Gale. I really believe so. I think, especially with the homegrown players that have been around a long time, Marcel Gale also homegrown, has been there right throughout, and there's just an added focus and an added energy, as you can appreciate, when your head coach is there. And I think even though the respect might be there for Damien Gordon, it's just not the same. And in a semi-final period, and especially here, you need that, because the matches are tough. It's the defining point of a season, and I think I don't think it's Gale's fault, because, as you said, national opportunity as a coach. But I think the JFF need to have their national coaches fully on staff, and the Premier League coaches need to be independent.
And even sorted out well in advance as well. Maybe he knew he was going to go away, then maybe better things would have been put in place. Sometimes just too haphazard coming.
I'm not a fan of that. Anyhow, Andre Leslie coming forward. I think if you want the best out of your national teams, these coaches need to be on staff and concentrate fully on the national team. It's not fair to Waterhouse for them to get to the semi-final point and then their head coach has to go away on national duty.
And a lot of times I was saying, the call up from the JFF for squads or camp, it's very rushed. It's never well in advance, and I'm pretty sure there's a calendar from FIFA as to dates when things are going to happen.
Correct. As we see Cavalier looking to make another change. Tavar Thompson about to come on. But yeah, that is something I'm very passionate about, and I think in terms of the growth of our football, how do you know your best team if you're a coach which you've not been a part of the national setup? Then all of a sudden, as we see, he's on for Kenroy Campbell, who's probably working hard to get another yellow. So he comes off after having a good game. But yeah, that how do these coaches know their best team at the national level if they're not working with them all along? They should be around scouting at the schoolboy level, seeing who the best talents are, not be concentrating on the Premier League and then all of a sudden you have to change focus at the last minute. Richard King, another battle that he wins in the box.
I'm pretty much in agreement because, you know, I've been on the receiving end.
Here is a strike and it's scuffed by Javon James and it falls to Vino Bartlett, who has life easy at the back.
I said I've been on the receiving ends of calls coming in that hey, we're having a camp coming up within a couple of days and we need players to come forward. It's always seemed to be a rush and a last minute thing, and as such the cohesiveness, the consistency, the improvement not there, and that has to be sorted out. So 100% in agreement with you on that.
And it's also a reason why we don't seem to pick our best national junior teams, because we are unaware of who are our best players if we're not scouting properly and watching it from a national coach's perspective. Anyhow, Waterhouse continue to try to find a consolation. The ball is out and it's going to be a corner.
I dare say some may say in some quarters when it is done that way, allow others to be able to dictate who is there. So the coach is unable to really come up with the right set of players. We have had some outstanding performances today in this game.
Yeah, Beale is trying to probably add to that brilliant performance discussion, but his attack is thwarted here by a man who's certainly in the discussion, Dwayne Atkinson. He's had a good outing, Dwight.
Certainly with 2 goals, of course he has to be in a discussion.
Look at this skill by Dwayne Atkinson, a good ball handler. Caught on the ball though, falls to Beadle. Well, Beadle dropped that wide. Yeah.
Maybe that's why Atkinson he's not playing in that position so deep, because he picked the ball up and was so nonchalant, casual in terms of coming out, and should have played the ball out to this player. You see the ball played inside, then back to him there, and just casually looking to stroll out, and a pass was on.
Obviously the man of the match would have to come from Cavalier. Richard King in screen now. He's been excellent in the defence line.
Exactly.
He has thwarted most of the attacks for Waterhouse. We have had Melvin Doxley with 2 assists. He has had a good game. You've had Dwayne Atkinson with 2 goals. You've also had Kenroy Campbell, who came off a short moment ago, who had a goal. The opening one was it. And he's also had an assist there in number 11. Here is Colin Anderson coming forward. Now he finds Henry wide in loads of space, Henry, but he's taken a year and a half to kick the shot and it's blocked. He had so much room there, and that's been a problem for Waterhouse this afternoon. They haven't defended well from the flank areas. Kimani Campbell and Ricardo Thomas have had a horror of a game defensively.
Yeah, they've just given up that area parallel to that penalty box area, and every time Cavalier plays the ball into those positions, then their player gets it, because they're uncontested in those areas. Too easy, just way too easy for a team that was so defensively sound throughout the regular season.
Dwayne Atkinson. His second goal was what you saw as a SportsMax app moment. And he's probably been a standout. Well, it was his first actually, the cushion header.
The second one was a good one as well.
The second one was a beautiful finish, one time with the right boot.
It's coming from the blind side of the defender.
Yeah.
Just, he met
very
it so
easy
well
to kick that over the bar.
Yeah, we've seen that many times.
Well, we're approaching 90 minutes and we expect just 2 minutes of stoppages, and many will be saying they are thankful for that. Now the attack broken up by Richard King. I think it might come down to Richard King or Dwayne Atkinson. Dwight, what say you? It is your call at the end of it all. Here is Cardell Benbow.
Well, like I said,
Leslie looking for some space. Broken up by Doxley, who has had 2 assists as well in the game. Melvin Doxley, but I think he might be falling third.
yeah, I think in the end, as I said, King has had a very, very good game, but Waterhouse, they've offered very little anyway.
Gadale Irvin into the box, has a goal already, Gadale Irvin, and it's broken up here by Kimani Campbell. Comes forward, Gibbons breaks it up, and Waterhouse have it again. That's overhit though, and it's not going to be kept in play. And Waterhouse, this is very much looking like it's going to be the 4th time this season that they have been denied a goal. And as you said, Dwight, they haven't really had much going forward. Vino Barkley probably made one outstanding save, but apart from that, the shots have been wayward. Cardell Benbow has been off. They've missed Denardo Thomas. And probably their captain Ramon Hall in terms of their organisation within the middle of the park.
I was just about to say they were disjointed throughout in terms of their performance, attack, midfield play, build-up play, all of that have just been off for Waterhouse today. So I'm going to go with Atkinson, because also the goals, despite Waterhouse being poor at the back, the goals from Atkinson have been good goals, no tapping, and he still had a lot of work to do with both goals. That ball played over from Doxley. It's a cushion header, and the finish, the second one, smart as well. And they're playing a little rando here, Cavalier. It's something we do on the training field, you know. Numbers up in advance, you play good one-touch football. Nice little rando, and they were enjoying themselves.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a good way to end for Dwayne Atkinson, who's had a really good finish to the season. And their leading goal scorer with 8. And 2 brilliant finishes. So, yeah. Dwayne Atkinson probably the best player overall, especially considering Waterhouse have been the best going forward. Chance to break the clean sheet, and they do. So Waterhouse with a consolation. As we said, very rare for them to be denied a goal, and Keithy Simpson, probably their most experienced player and their most decorated as well with his exploits overseas, adds his 3rd of the season, Keithy Simpson, and his 21st of his Premier League career. Cavalier 4, Waterhouse 1.
Well, he has been in and about that area all game long, Keithy Simpson, just in there looking for an opportunity. Probably would say Waterhouse most threatening player throughout this game, and as such he has been rewarded with a goal. But it pretty much was gifted to Waterhouse by Cavalier. As we can see the score there now, 4 goals to 1 in favour of Cavalier. But Cavalier, they were just playing that little round, enjoying themselves, and that's it.
And that's it. So Cavalier are the 3rd place team of the Jamaica Premier League 2022. They defeat Waterhouse, the leaders after the first round, by 4 goals to 1. A brace for man of the match, Dwayne Atkinson. And goals by that man, Gadale Irvin, and Kenroy Campbell as well. The consolation for Keithy Simpson, the Waterhouse 63. And we have a look at the full match highlights. Well, this the second half highlights. Coming forward there. Broken up, then the strike from Dwayne Atkinson, broken up, then it fell to Kenroy Campbell, who would open his account. Kenroy Campbell with his 4th of the season, way too much space on that side. Poor marking by Kimani Campbell. And Kenroy with the finish after 46 minutes. It was Cavalier 1, Waterhouse 0. It was such a flat performance from Waterhouse, especially in the second half. Lovely ball by Melvin Doxley, the St. Lucian. And what a header that was by Dwayne Atkinson. So much skill to execute that. Cushioning the header so well and beating the ever-present Kemar Foster to the far post. That was 2-0 after 61 minutes. Cavalier, they weren't finished. And yeah, space on the flank for Colin Anderson to pick out Dwayne Atkinson for his 2nd of the game, his 8th of the season. And this was a good finish as well by Dwayne Atkinson, coming in from the blind side. Kemar Foster, no chance. Hit with so much power, and that was 3-0 after 70. They weren't finished yet. Cavalier pass to Gadale Irvin, and what a thumping finish that was. Rocketed with his strong left foot, grazing the underneath of the crossbar, and that was 4-0. And great finish by Gadale Irvin, his 2nd of the season and the 4th for Cavalier. They maintained that lead until stoppage time. Andre Leslie to Ruan Beadle, Beadle to Keithy Simpson, and Keithy Simpson with his 3rd of the season. A good finish into the far corner, and Vino Barkley denied another clean sheet. was a good finish for the 32-year-old Simpson. 4-1 after 90 minutes. Full stands, and we have a look at the match statistics. 12 shots, 6 on target for Cavalier, and they managed 4 goals. That's a great ratio. 5 on target from 11 attempts from Waterhouse. They were off their A game today. 12 fouls and 6 yellow cards shown by Tyrone Robinson, who was the man in charge of this one. And 3 offsides for Cavalier. Some 8 corners for Waterhouse, but they didn't make them count. And Vino Barclay, the busier between the sticks. 4 saves compared to Kemar Foster's 2. That's how clinical Cavalier were. And they had the majority of the possession, Cavalier, and the majority of the goals. Cavalier 4, Waterhouse 1. Dwight Jeremiah is with our man of the match.
Dwayne Atkinson, our man of the match, but before I ask him a few questions, he will receive some goodies from Digicel. Not sure what's in the bag. I'm not sure he's going to show us either, not wanting to give too much away. But
that is it.
Atkinson, he said that is it, so maybe he's pleased with what is in there.
Am I good?
Dwayne, good performance from you today. 2 well taken goals. Pretty much surmise you as a player. One a crafty finish, the other one bullish to run inside. Just tell me about those 2 goals.
Well, as I can see, it's a great feeling to know that we're fighting for the 3rd place, but we just keep a composure, come out, show respect and fight, and just not say it never ends. But it's a great feeling to know that come out and end the season with at least 8 goals and come score a double in the last matches. But it's a great feeling to me still.
In terms of your goal tally, 8, you're pleased with that. You started slowly, but did you set your target to have double figures?
Well, yes, I was planning to have double figures, but it didn't come. But we still fight and end after the season, come out with 8. Start out pretty slow, but I just give God thanks for everything that they done.
Well, good game from you, and may you continue to go from strength to strength, boy.
Thanks.
Yes, Dwayne Atkinson there. 2 really good goals, 1 a header and a smart finish with the right foot, surprising Foster and defender Wilson. Bent, a difficult game, and it proved that it was really difficult to lift the boys for this game, this 3rd place playoff.
Yeah, I mean, from missing out from the finals, I think it's very difficult to want to play a 3rd place. But nevertheless, they showed up, did not perform as we wanted them to do. So I guess that's it.
It's something that you have to work on nonetheless as professionals, that they have to, no matter the level, you have to find a way to be able to motivate these boys.
But I think it starts from within first, and then we as the coaching staff, we do our part. It's again.
Well, good season, regular season didn't end the way it should, but yeah. Waterhouse, I'm pretty sure will be back next season.
Yeah, man, definitely wants to be back, and we want to thank all of our supporters from Waterhouse, from all over the island, from all over the world. Thank you for the support, and we are very sorry for not bringing home the trophy this year. I look forward to next season.
Okay, let's see what that brings.
Yeah,
Coach, they're bent there. Disappointing, but I guess, like he said, very difficult for them to be able to lift the boys. Certainly no problems for you in getting your players up for this 3rd place playoff. I guess the younger they are, the easier it is to motivate them. They put on a very good display today, you'd say.
Yeah, most definitely. A great display by my team this evening, you know. As I said, it wasn't hard to motivate them to play. They wanted to play, and they just came and gave a good performance this evening.
I have to make mention of King. He was second, a man of the match rating, really had a good performance. I don't think he lost a duel out there.
Most definitely. I mean, he came today and said, Coach, we wanted to do this for Mr. Speed. He's not here, he's off the island. And all the guys came and said, Coach, I wanted to do it for Mr. Speed this evening, And King had a pretty good game.
So any celebrations plans for later?
We're just going to sit and watch the final, It's just one of those days,
Okay, well, thank you very much, and may we continue to see your team continue to treat us come next season.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Aberdeen Scarlet there with the final words for Cavalier. Really loving how they finished the season in this 3rd place playoff. Cavalier with a 4-1 victory over Waterhouse. They lift the 3rd place trophy. And Dwayne Atkinson finishing the season with a brace to end the season with 8 goals overall. As we see there, Cavalier 4, Waterhouse 1. The Jamaica Premier League powered by Digicel. Pleasant viewing.